As President Xi promised that Chinese market will never be closed, we are open our door wider and wider. We will not only try to do something as our Chinese characteristic or Chinese styles, we want to follow up what the international communities are thinking of. CPTPP is not our only choices in the future. That is also important opportunities for us to say what China is thinking of in the future for a better system of openness and cooperation. It is not only say that China is trying to be the boss of the CPTPP.
Can you briefly introduce to us what is CPTPP?
CPTPP is not a brand new agreement. CPTPP originally came from 4 small economies around the Pacific. They started this kind of negotiation about 15 years ago. So United States, the President of Obama decided that they want to join the TPP at that time. When Trump administration came into the office, he decided that the United States will retreat from the agreement. And the rest 11 partners decided that they want to continue with the negotiation, but they changed the name to CPTPP. And it is what we are looking at, the CPTPP right now, covering 11 different partners, different economies around the Pacific.
Many members of CPTPP now are American allies or partners. So why would China want to join CPTPP, and why now?
It's a very important and interesting question because that everybody thinks that China is trying to fight against the United States, but actually we do not. We want to do something more material. If we can be involved in a new and wide coverage of the agreement, we may have a better opportunities, not only for Chinese enterprises, but also for other business, for other enterprises in other countries.
Just last Wednesday, the day before China applied to join CPTPP, the United States, Britain, and Australia announced a new partnership, which they called AUKUS. This is also some updated version of a Indo-Pacific partnership among allies. So under these circumstances, do you think China will successfully join CPTPP?
So we believe that the market is playing a very important role in dealing with the relationship between us. Maybe sometime in some stage, the politics will affect the whole process. But I think that in the long run, the market will play the final decision power. The market thinks that China will continue in the way of opening wider. It is still very early for us to be so optimistic, because if we look at the process of China's joining WTO, we are finding that there are almost 20 years since the start of the negotiation. Yes. And it hasn't reached the starting point yet for the CPTPP.
What will be the most contribution to CPTPP if China joins?
When we join CPTPP, it will provide a very huge market for all the enterprises. They can try to establish a better supply chain, better cooperation with different industries and sectors. So we can put some more energy, some more new blood to this body.
But there is some other saying from the Western media that China, given the scale, the size of this economic development, of the trade deals with so many countries, so China is going to gut the CPTPP from inside. What do you think of this?
We joined WTO, we didn't change the rules. We are just trying to adapt ourselves to the rules. I don't think that China will want to change all the CPTPP rules. But actually, I think it is possible for us to say there should be some improvement of the agreement. CPTPP, like all other agreements, it cannot be perfect because of the time limits, because of the development of the trade modes, international relationship, update. There should be some change, some reform, or even improvement in the agreements.
So what will be the impact over China's domestic market, especially under the circumstances of China's dual circulation?
The government of China is trying to make more focus on another very serious problem. It is equity. It is true that we are facing a lot of pressures because when we open our door, there will be more inflow of the resources, by the foreign investors, but also sometimes the outflow of our intelligence. I think it's welcome because that if we are the most attractive in the future, more and more people will come here to China because they see a big potentials.
I think people's mindsets are changing. So do the nations. So if China shows its not only willingness to apply to join, but also its determination to reform, to do in-depth reforms, and to have some real actions, maybe the mindsets of the member countries would change.
That is always true, you know. Even in the so-called China-United States trade war, China didn't stop to wait for the response from the United States. We keep on our process of reform. Yes. And that has brought a lot of reform on the financial services and different areas. We are keeping on the process in our own space.